Hello, good afternoon, folks. I'm just down in the shop or in the basement or whatever you want to call it. My makeshift little spot where I am still working on the turntable. I found my blueprints actually. Here's all my blueprints and some of my old blueprints and some reference material from when I was building other turntables. Always good to keep your reference material, especially if you look at the date. Where are we at here? 2019 is when I built this guy right here, and without the blueprints I've been having a lot of problems. Now a lot of people are asking me, where do I get my motor? Here's the motor that I'm going to be using. We'll go over that when it gets time, but if you want to track it down, here it is. That way you're ready to go if you're looking for one, and it has the capacitor included in there, which is really good. Here we have, I thought about putting some bigger feet on, but I didn't think it would look that great. You wouldn't notice it from the outside. It wouldn't look too bad, but an underbody, if I ever want to take the board off or whatever, I won't be able to get it off. So we're going to go with little one. These are Hudson Hi-Fi isolation little rubber balls or whatever. They have a self stick on the back, and you can buy those from Amazon. Just so that you know, not marketing here, but just telling you where I'm getting some of the stuff. Now what we're currently doing is finding out where I'm going to put my sub platter or my spindle hole, and getting the proper distance for my tone arm. A 9-inch tone arm typically is 222 millimeters, but it can fluctuate up and down based on the model and the way that the tone arm is shaped, whether it's a straight arm or it's an S arm. It can depend. So that's why it's very important that I'm building a slider, so I can, just like this here, I have it all apart over here, but you can see this is where the tone arm on the other board, the wires came in here, and then I could slide it in and out. Same as the motor over here, for to change the different belts, you can slide it in and out. We're doing the same idea over here, but this wasn't really, yeah, it is kind of messy. It's kind of messy, but we're doing it differently this time. This was my prototype. This was my first time, and I have to say, I never had as many tools when I was building this. I had a skill saw, a jigsaw, and a palm sander. So everything had to be like, yeah, it was hard go. And some chisels. This time around I got the tools, and I'm trying to make it good. So we're not going to rotor out some badass grooves here. This is where the switch is going to be the same as on this one. You can see it down in here. And you could buy these kind of things on Amazon too, or maybe somewhere else. There's a switch I'm going to be putting on. Made in China. Christ, everything's made in China, isn't it? I wish we had some stuff that we made in Canada. But we got to do what we got to do with what we got. Here is the little lathe that I bought, and it's a cheapie, but not so cheapie. It's cheapie in the sense that it's cheap made. I know nothing about it. I haven't even tried it out. I hope to God it works. Canadian, I think it was like $800 or $900. Why did I buy this? It's because I want to build my own sub platters. This is a sub platter. I spent a lot of money on it, and I like to build my own, and I don't see why I can't if you got the stuff. So here is some raw material here. In the city in Dartmouth, they got, I think it's called Metals R Us, and I went in there. Look at this, it's milled in the USA. I know nothing about aluminum, but this is a round bar, and this is what I'm going to use. Man, that's some thick, eh? To make a sub platter. Now we have another one over here. I originally bought this one because I was going to mill out my for my pulley for on the motor. It's quite big. This one here is milled in Canada. I wonder why you would. I don't understand. We obviously had the capability of doing it in Canada if we milled that in Canada. Why have we got this milled in the United States? I don't know. Beyond me. Let's not get political here. And this is a scale. I'm finding all my stuff that I need to do this table. And some of the things that I want to share, that when I build my tables, I don't use the conventional stuff, or for example, here's a gasket. I think this is a toilet gasket, or not really sure. And these are some rubber gaskets. I guess you call them gaskets or O-rings. And because I want to come up with my own version here, you see here, that's what these are on there. And that's so that you don't, when you put your platter on, if it's going to be a glass platter or a plastic platter, it's going to sit on top of this. You see this line around that too? That is from the belt. Of years of using the belt on there. I'll buff that up before I put it back on the table. But my idea is to try to make my own design. And trust me, it's definitely not going to look like that, because it'll be the first time that I used a mill. And I think that ring looks a little bit big, but we got a lot of thought and process things going on, a lot of ideas and stuff like that. Here is a beautiful little, look at that ball. That is the bearing that I use. I forget what it's made out of, but that goes on the bottom of this guy. It sits on little point inside of your bearing housing. This is another thing that I want to build myself, and I have to learn, and I have to find some brass. I wonder if I can see in there with this camera. It's got some gunk in there. I gotta clean that out. So lots of things going on, lots of planning, and that's where we're sitting at right now. So keep watching, tuning in. Today and the next 2 days, I should have this here all cut out and mounted in, and I'll start doing my wiring and soldering and stuff like that. Another thing I noticed it's been 5 years, I probably used the wrong solder on my last table, because we had to put a ground wire on here, and at the time I didn't have any electrical cable, so I went to the hardware store and I got this. Is electrical, but it's a replacement lamp cable, so it's lower amperage, so it should do, and I think it has done it. But you see that rust? I think I probably used the wrong solder. That's what happened there. So that's a key thing to remember. And we have a fuse here, nice fuse if anything were to happen. This time around, I think I'm going to get it mounted from the outside so you can unscrew and change it that way. I do like the back of this. This looks really nice. I have to get some more of those screw-in hex screws. So that's a little bit update on the brainstorming and what I've been working on for the past couple of days. It's a very slow process because I am very nervous of drilling holes, because once the holes get drilled, especially through this plinth, and they show through man, we spent a week and a half trying to get this plinth looking perfect. I'm kind of working backwards. I guess the normal people would have did all that and then got the plinth looking shiny. Not not icky, Bob. It don't matter. It don't matter. So we're doing it my way. I like it my way, and this is how it's going to be. So, so keep tuning in. In the next couple days, we'll be moving on, and I'll have the motor probably mounted in there. I got to make the motor box. I got to make the arm board, and yeah, lots of other things. So keep watching. Thanks for tuning in, following me along this build, and hopefully you're learning a little bit of what goes into building a turntable. Even if you can't build one yourself, at least you have a little appreciation what actually goes into building something like this. All right, so we'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.